She's out there standing on top of the mower. Her and Jimbo take turns doing that though.
Hmm?
Her and Jimbo take turns doing that though.
I know they do, 'cause I've seen him on it.
Did you happen to see that truck when you looked out the window?
What truck?
That loud one that went past.
Well, now, earlier today, there was a white truck went past that was real loud.
Was it the same one?
Hmm?
Was it the same one?
When?
The one you said passed by earlier.
As that what did a while ago? Oh, I don't know. I didn't catch that one that time. They probably went to Jones Park and ain't getting attention, so they figure they'll harass people along here. I forget what it was called, an arts or something. Arts in the Park or something like that.
Mm.
It was supposed to start, I think, at 10 this morning. Not enough bad. Let's see. Did you fart? Let's see if I can get it. If they have it on here.
Still to come, a delicate bout.
What time does that say, Chad?
That's the one from this morning.
8 o'clock?
Mm-hmm.
Just a string meatball sandwich. Now that's a national treasure. American food.
More than 20,000 acres are burned down on the West Coast as fire crews work around the clock to contain the flames. The challenges that these crews are facing as the fire danger remains high. President-elect Donald Trump is filling in some of his top positions that will work alongside him as he prepares for a second term. The historic hire he's making for his right hand in the Oval Office. Lawmakers on Capitol Hill still have less than 2 months before their new colleagues are sworn in. The list of priorities they need to handle during the final session of the year.
There's still some chances for rain across East Texas through the morning, but by the afternoon, those skies starting to clear up. We'll talk about your forecast.
Yeah, I'm sitting down.
Caring, committed, proud of East Texas. You're watching Good Morning East Texas Weekend.
Good morning, East Texas, and thank you for joining us. Today is Saturday, it is November 9th, and we're here to help you make the most of your day. We'll get you on over to Emily Edwards for our first look at today's forecast. And Emily, as I was coming in, it was kind of sprinkling a little bit, but are we going to expect that throughout the morning?
I mean, throughout the morning, there's still that chance for rain, but by the afternoon, it should clear up. So if you're going to be doing anything outside later today, then that weather is going to be perfect for that this afternoon. But again, right now, if we look down our Doppler radar outside, you see that rain starting to move out of East Texas. A lot of times it's pushing through the area. So mainly in deep East Texas, we're still seeing that rainfall this morning. A few counties under a flood watch as well. Sabine, Tyler, Jasper, and Newton counties this morning under flood watch until tomorrow morning. You can see that rain starting to push out of East Texas. Temperatures right now sitting in the 50s and 60s, but we've still got a couple of warmer spots where that cold front hasn't quite pushed through yet. So it's 61 in Tyler, 60 in Longview, 63 in Lufkin. But again, those warmer spots, 71 in St. Augustine and Hemphill, 72 in Jasper, where that front hasn't quite pushed its way all the way through. Now those visibilities this morning, we're seeing some fog in a few areas, so visibility down to 3 miles in Atlanta and Marshall this morning, down to 2 miles in Jasper, down to 5 miles in Center, so just be cautious if you're going to be driving. Now again, let's take a look at our pet project forecast. We've got Trevette and her jammies, how cute. And again, that slight chance for rain remains through the morning, but by the afternoon, that rain should push out of East Texas. So we're looking at those skies starting to clear up today and those temperatures topping off in the low 70s. So again, it's going to be a nice day once you get to the afternoon hours, you know, nice and cool and not rainy. So.
Gotcha. Something to keep in mind as we're planning for the morning. Emily, thanks so much. Well, this morning we're tracking the California wildfires, where wind speeds are slowing down and they're giving firefighters an advantage. Fires have destroyed 20,000 acres and at least 132 structures, with most of them being homes. Thousands of people had to evacuate their homes, with many still under evacuation orders. As of Friday evening, one of the fires was just 14% contained. And even though the winds are decreasing, crews have other challenges that they're tackling to put out the fires.
The biggest challenge is that with the 20,000-acre fires, all it takes is one hot piece of material jumping across the line to get that fire going again. So the potential is certainly still there. Right now our focus is getting that perimeter as controlled as possible and getting the community back in service. And to do that, we really have to make it safe.
That was you.
What?
They're still returning to what's
What do
left
you
of their
do?
homes. And that includes one couple who says that they
That
didn't
weather's
know what
changing,
they were
so-
returning to until their family friends checked in on them.
We were in Minnesota, and our friends were texting us, asking us if we were okay. And I think they didn't want to tell us that they knew that our house was on fire. And finally, we had a person working at the house doing remodeling. And he said, I don't want to be the one to tell you this, but your house is burning down.
And then somebody sent us a video of a TV newscast, and we actually saw our house in flames.
California is just one of many states that is facing wildfires. In fact, 4 brush fires are still burning in New Jersey. And throughout the weekend, parts of the U.S. are preparing for some of the driest conditions that they've seen in decades. But a little to the east, the conditions are vastly
Put that
different.
in New
More than 5
Mexico.
million people across Colorado and New Mexico are under winter storm warnings. While heavy snowfall is making it difficult or impossible to travel. And this is especially hitting truck drivers that are traveling through those states. In New Mexico, about 100 vehicles are stranded on a highway in below freezing temperatures after a semi-truck jackknifed during a powerful storm. And to a follow-up now, the Justice Department is investigating how a wave of racist text messages were sent to black people across the country. This took place a day after the presidential election. The texts come from unfamiliar numbers, and they've been telling people that they've been, quote, selected to pick cotton at the nearest plantation. And they were sent to people in more than a dozen states, including here in the Lone Star State.
What have I done? Why is this targeted at me? And then when I realized it was happening everywhere, it made me feel horrible too.
Phone service provider TextNow said that one or more of its accounts were used to send these text messages, and they were quickly disabled after those accounts. And a suspect is behind bars this morning after 5 people were stabbed in Washington state. This is part of the string of stabbings in the region in the city's Chinatown International District. Earlier this week, 5 more people were stabbed in separate incidents in the same area. Some of the victims were taken to the hospital and are alive. Police are investigating whether the same suspect is responsible for all 10 stabbings.
It's certainly plausible that the suspect involved in today's stabbing is the same suspect involved
County
in the
commercial
previous 5
about 80
incidents. The
years.
investigation is ongoing, and we will determine
Former
that. There will be
commissioner.
additional information forthcoming.
Yeah.
One of the victims involved in the stabbings was treated at the scene and was later released. And as of Friday evening, 2 of them remained in critical condition in the hospital. And the people accusing Sean Diddy Combs in a sexual abuse case will be allowed to speak publicly on the matter. The rapper and music mogul asked a court to issue a gag order to keep them from doing so, but the judge refused. Not all of them will participate in the case. And Combs is also asking to be released from jail based on new information, but so far he's been denied bail twice. Prosecutors say that he poses a, quote, physical threat to witnesses and could tamper with them. And any remaining court deadlines in President-elect Donald